Alright. Not a whole lot of amazing stuff. Senior attack and top supply, definitely the best options here, I would say. I think we ended up both picking top supply. Let's check what I'm doing here. What did I drop? Where is it? Oh, I dropped these steel balls. Yeah, I thought, you know, he still doesn't have anything really here. So I might as well put some steel balls here and try to do the same thing, what I did with the wasps, basically. Just without an item and with a less significant tower debuff. It's only going to be, what is this? 5 seconds right now. OnlyFangs drops a melting point and gives it the nano repair kit. Definitely a good choice, I think, against a fortress that potentially might just level. And he definitely has to think about me going for mass fortresses. I think that's a decent choice. I do also put some fangs here so that they pull enemy forces away. He still doesn't have range on the wraiths. I'm not sure. I think he kinda needs that, if I'm looking at his side of the board. But for the moment, he put in the money to buy a melting point, to unlock it and buy one. So that's 600 down the drain of the 1000 that he got at the beginning of the round. And he also got top supply, as did I, which means there's all his money gone. Once again, the Wraith just gets absolutely target locked and destroyed. And meanwhile, this tower, level 3 or not, is not gonna live against these steel walls. Phoenix has already got wiped out. Chaff has been delayed quite a bit, and this round is an absolute stomp. Well, we'll see if it's going to stay that way. More reinforcements. We have sandworms here. And I haven't been in this situation a whole lot. I'm not entirely sure what I should do to close this one out. Like, it's clearly visible that I have a good advantage. But the question is, will it stay? There is a scorpion for OnlyFangs. He sells it immediately. So now he has a lot of money to do whatever he wants. I go pick the sandworms. They are probably the only giant that is even halfway decent into melters, other than better melters. I sell the fortress and go for the sandworms. I spread them out on the board. I'm not too sure how to position them so that they, with Sandstorm, can hit basically the entire enemy ground force. Meanwhile, I must say in retrospect that this is kind of a risk, because exclude this melting point, which at the time had no tax. He has nothing on the ground that is important. Like, the Arclights and the sledges are nice, but I think he also he sold one pack of sledges already. Might just sell another one. Could move out of melters and do something else. But instead he is committing further into melters. No missile defense against this, so it's going to draw some aggro, but now the Wraiths have range and he dropped an additional one. I guess that is the defense against this. Never mind. I have Sandstorm Worms this round and further levels. For example, this Wraith now is officially level 3 and has haste module, so that thing is properly scary. And I also have Degeneration Beam. He used a missile to take out the steel balls here, which means that even if they are level 2, these crawlers are not going to get that tower anytime soon. Sandstorm is not hitting the melting points. They have 170 range, which is honestly insane. Did he buy temp range? Yeah, he bought temp range. And as you can see, this is the point where it tips in this match. My army is completely obliterated. My crawlers are stuck on a level 3 tower that they are probably not going to get. There's a couple of fangs here that are getting eviscerated by a Wraith. That Wraith is probably going to level off the tower. Ah, no. Doesn't get the finishing blow, I guess. But it gets a couple of crawlers. And there's a level. And this is starting to get scary because all of a sudden the health is not looking all too different. Some good stuff here. Heavy armor, EMP. Even absorption module, definitely a case to be made for that. He goes for it and puts it on a melter, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, I'm not too sure what to do, but I know one thing. My opponent's air force is definitely important. Without these waves, his chaff clear is basically non-existent. Well, he has some arc lights, but 3 arc lights and a couple of sledges, that is basically all the chaff clear he has. He does once again drop a missile to defend against these steel balls, and even if they were to get through, there's some fangs delaying them significantly. I do pick the EMP. It's really hard to shield against that. I honestly think that it was a mistake not going for the EMP. I think you can hit both of these with one EMP, similar to how I can hit both of these frays with EMP. I'm really not sure what to do with the rest of my money, and time is running out, so I decide to do some weird stuff. I do put another steel ball pack in the flank here. Well, the first steel ball pack, and it's in the flank. I think the first unit in the flank safe for some chaff here. And I sell the ones at the front. Then I commit further into the sandworms. They now have mech rage, they heal. I wasn't sure what to do with the rest of my money. Get upgrades, get a mobile beacon. Have the time hopefully go. No shields, but fortunately no AMP. A missile here, so this sandworm burrows and hopefully gets up further, but it doesn't really work all that well initially. Now it is actually going a bit further in, and these melters have been hit by the sandstorm. The melters are having trouble dealing with the stuff here. The chaff clear has, of course, been turned off by the MP, and the steel balls have destroyed the tower. It ends up being quite a significant victory here in this round. The melting point has locked on, but range has been nerfed. It resets, and it just gets destroyed by the sandworms. So, this is my experience with sandworms. Basically, I was thinking all game about, oh boy, is this gonna be a sandworm push that is going to annihilate me? And in the end, it turned to me being too scared to commit into much of a ground force, building up an air force, and then using my own sandworms to, I think that's fair to say, counter my opponent's melters. These melters might have energy absorption, but if they don't get to lock on for too long, they're just gonna get destroyed. Also, I definitely think that he could have easily survived, maybe even won, if he had EMP'd my Wraiths. Because let's face it, he has 3 Wraiths. I have 2 Wraiths. So in theory, chaff clear should be in his favor then. I do have these sandworms, which also do have a good amount of AoE. Maybe that would have been better. Also, the tower debuff definitely, like, I think he didn't defend this tower well enough. You need some units at least, unless it's already level 5 maybe. It's hard to say. It's also easy to criticize when he might just have tried to play something different and was experimenting with like melter aggro or whatever it is. I'm not sure. I really am not sure. It's just weird for me to win against a player that I recognize by name when I assume I would get smashed like 9 out of 10 games. I think in a previous tournament I got obliterated. Like usually when I meet players whose names I recognize. Oh well, not in this match. It was a good amount of MMR, and I'm very surprised that I managed to win this. And I guess I'm gonna have to keep this kind of game in my repertoire. Basically, go into an Air Force when you already have Phoenixes and they start to level real early, and defend on the ground with Sandworms. And basically do the reverse of what some people have been pushing me with, or have been pushing people with. I've only experienced it once and got completely obliterated by that sort of combo. By the Sandworms on the ground with Sandstorm, turning off all your anti-air, turning off your ground units, and then the opponent's Air Force comes in and destroys you. So, yeah, I guess it works against Aggro too. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening, and hopefully until next time.